How are we doing? Smiles, nightclub, hippie bells. We're smiling, right? We're smiling. For a guy who doesn't like to smile, that's pretty good. I like that. I have an issue I need to just get off my chest right now. Rite Aid wellness card. Does anyone have this? This is a card you put on your keychain or in your wallet and you get a discount at Rite Aid. Now, on paper, this sounds like a great idea. The wellness card. Like, oh, we're giving people a break on prescription drugs and they can fight diseases. But the wellness card gives you discounts on everything in the store. Cigarettes, booze, potato chips, candy bars. Rite Aid is promoting an unwellness program with the guise of, under the guise of their wellness program. Like, this is kind of a sham. I'm not complaining. I like buying cheap wine and booze. But at least just call it what it is, like the Vice card. Just call it like the addiction hookup, you know? Like that's all it is, just be honest. I like honesty, I appreciate it. You know? Wayne Gretzky, you guys remember him, the hockey player? He had a quote where he said, "You always miss 100% of the shots you never take." And it turned into like an inspirational poster. You see it on every psychologist or high school counselor's wall, you know? And I like the saying, except I feel like you can't get too carried away with that and use that saying for everyone, because not everyone's that good. Like, you can't be on a basketball team and be a horrible three-point shot and be like, you know, you always miss 100% of the shots you never take. Like, that guy's going to lose you a game, you know? He's going to shoot a three-pointer when the clock's ticking down, the buzzer goes off, and he's going to fuck up, you know? And you're like, well, great, that was awesome. But he's like, oh, I saw the Wayne Gretzky poster in the locker room. Like, then watch out, too. Like, what if there was a sniper who was, like, assassinating our politicians in the U.S., and he was, like, a communist, you know? And, like, he was like, you know what, maybe I've been wrong. Maybe I should start helping people instead of killing them. And they're like, no, but you know what? You miss 100% of the shots you never take. And then he goes, you know what? You're right. I should get back on that horse and start shooting Americans. Like, just think about what message you're sending out. Speaking of sports, you guys ready for the March Madness next month? It's coming up, right? College basketball. Are we excited? Anyone here like college basketball? No. You know why? It's because we love playoffs. We like the idea that it doesn't just come down to one moment. We should get a chance to redeem ourselves, you know? And with college basketball, it's all a bracket. It's sudden elimination. And I like the idea of playoffs so much, I want to implement it in real life. Like, why should it all just come down to one chance? Like, you go to a job interview and they go, you know what, Tim, they're giving you that phone call, the pity call. Tim, you know, you had a good interview, we're just going to go with someone else. I felt like this person was more qualified. I'd immediately interrupt them and be like, best of three. He'd be like, excuse me? Like, best of three. Listen, I had to travel 10 minutes yesterday. I was out of sorts. You come to my one-bedroom apartment tomorrow. I'll put the coffee on. We'll do this whole interview over again. And you know what? I think we'll come down to the rubber match, and I'm going to win this job. It would be awesome, right? If you could just do that and like win back your job. Like, it shouldn't just be one chance. I know with the passing of the new year recently, I feel like I'm getting older. And I know this because I've run this test unintentionally, and you can all run this test as well. As an adult, try to climb a fence. And if you're not seriously injured, then you have your best days ahead of you. And it's good. I tried this recently. It looked like I was in a minor car accident. I had welts, bruises. Like, I was like the shitty NFL quarterback that got sacked 5 times in a playoff game and totally let everyone down. It was not good. This was like a year ago. I tried to climb a wooden fence with steps. Like, I was trying to climb over it. Pathetic. It really is. There's a lot of talk in the news now about the Second Amendment, right? The right to bear arms, keep arms. And that's good, except I'm a little more concerned about the First Amendment, the right to freedom of speech. I love this amendment. What I don't understand is why it took an amendment to come up with the idea that we can speak out against our oppressors. Why wasn't this idea in the Constitution, in the original draft? We had to add an amendment's an add-on. Like, it's like building a house and going, you know what? We need to add a bathroom, kitchen, and 2 bedrooms. Like, this is very important. And you didn't put it in the first place. Like, your main your main objective as a founding father was to make the USA not shitty like England. Okay? And you couldn't do it the first time. You couldn't do it. What was it like to be a fly on that wall? You know, when the ink's drying on the last signature? It was probably James Wilson or something. You know, some lower level guy no one gives a shit about. And he's like, here it is, gentlemen, the Constitution of these United States. And he unscrolls it. And I'm sure Ben Franklin like waddles in, you know, to approve it. And he's like giving it the quick once over because he's had a close hand in this whole thing. And he looks over and he's like, gentlemen, where's the part where we can speak out against our king, King George? All I asked was that we have one right, and it was to be able to speak our mind, and you didn't do it. What were you talking about? Like wearing a wig in public or how many slaves you can own at one time? What happened? I like to think he threw his trifle hat down and like stepped on it, you know? It would be great to imagine, but it probably was just like, oh no, hear me out, we'll add an amendment, and they just added it like right after, and then there were 26 other ones. And then, U.S. government, you know? That's the experiment of life. Guys, how great is our host Ralphie tonight? Ralphie was saying he's not a real black guy, and that reminds me that I'm trying to avoid using the word colored, like, at all. Like, I feel like it sends that's a bad signal. I think it's just, it's a little too controversial. And I'm not even talking about race. Like, I just don't want to use colored at all in any context of the word. Like, what if you overheard me at a supermarket, right now on my cell phone talking to someone, and all you heard was, bring me the colored one. Like, that guy's racist, right? Like, but am I? Maybe I was talking about an Easter egg, you know, and I just have this southern drawl. Like, maybe I found a television from the 1970s in the back alley right now. You know? What if I was talking about a guy I know named Joseph from the Old Testament, huh? And he had a coat, and it was colored, alright? Colored egg on all of your faces for judging me, alright? Just think twice. This was a lesson, okay? This is a lesson in racism. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that, alright? So stupid. You guys remember clip art? You remember clip art from the 90s? Yeah, like the shitty photos you put on your Word document. I'm pretty sure the clip art guy's long since killed himself now, and because you can go on Google Images and get anything for free instantly, right? Why would we buy your shitty Microsoft Works and put clip art like on our thing? I'm sure he's killed himself. The only real question is, did the clip art guy use clip art in his suicide note? Like the stick figures with the noose, and then the ink starts smearing because of his inkjet printer he used on his HP inkjet, you know? Like, too bad it's our place, but you know, whatever. It's alright. I'll end with this. Growing up, I took piano lessons. My brothers and I, we had piano lessons from a man who was an older gentleman, and he was married at the time to a woman. We found out later, though, he was gay, but we never knew this. And I feel like we should have seen some of the signs. Like, for example, he wore a lot of jewelry, you know, and that's fine. You can be Italian, that's alright. You can wear jewelry. That's fine. We still didn't catch on that he was gay. The second sign should have really like put a signal flare in my eye with this like a metaphorical signal flare, not like jizz, like not like that would be gay. But the second signal was, he said, in order to learn the song better, we needed to place our hands on his hands and feel how the song was played. And I thought, that's a little gay. Like, I don't feel like piano teachers do that. Like, you don't feel how the song was played. But alright, so we went along with it. Maybe he's the teacher, we're little kids, we're shitty little 12-year-olds, you know. Like, we don't know what's going on. But this was the final thing that I think should have just opened our eyes, and it didn't. He said in order to learn the song better, we had to taste the vibrations of the song through his penis. And I was like, really? But we did it, you know. He called it his tuning fork at the time. And I thought that was odd. But I'm a better piano player for it, guys. And that's my time. I'm Tim.